and I'm going to do my part. So congrats, Clever Girls. Very exciting. Well, are you guys ready for Pacesetters Class 2? I'm going to start out by having you guys, I'm going to put this on a different view here real quick. Because of limited time, we don't have a ton of time to do discussion. So I'm going to try to run through the material so that we have a little bit of time to have discussion at the end about how things went last week. But I want to get into this again for the purpose of the recording and the people that are auditing and tuning in, and jump right in to get started. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to pull something up. My computer absolutely will not do screen share. So I've got to get with somebody on my settings to figure this out, because I've tried even Googling it and YouTubing it, and there's just something that's not letting me screen share. So I'm going to get into something, but right now, for just a quick minute, I would like for each of you to put whatever activity that you had during the week in the chat, so that we as directors can kind of take a look at that. I know that most of us have been chatting with you guys anyway and talking with you about your business and how your week went, and some of the things that we discussed last week in the Pacesetters class. So tonight we're on class 2 out of 6 different classes in the Pacesetter series. And so last week was phenomenal, absolutely awesome. Heidi did a really, really awesome job in getting you guys all set up for success in the business, and focusing on getting a weekly plan sheet, even if it's just like an ideal work week that you want to focus on. So tonight, I'd like you to put your activities in there, and hopefully everybody got their list done. There are 30 people, and then put a little star by the people that you would like to be able to work with in your business. And those are the people that you can invite on to some of the opportunities that we have coming up. And you can invite them to come, just because we're doing a Pacesetter graduation fun night. Our first live meeting will also be guest oriented. Anytime we have guests at all, we'll always be sharing a little bit of marketing. So put your activity in the chat. Tonight is all about attitude, mindset, and co-creating your goals and what you want to accomplish in your Mary Kay business. Mary Kay always talked about, taking God as your business partner. So that's kind of what I'm talking about there. But I'm going to have you guys ask yourself just a couple of questions. And this is a little bit different than our typical goal setting training, but who do you want to be? When we look at Mary Kay, there are different leaders and top directors, and they each kind of have their thing. Some are very well known for mindset. Some are very well known for skills and scripts. Some are known for booking. Some are known for, just that legacy leadership. Pam Shaw, she's a wordsmith. She's absolutely amazing at using her words to motivate. So who do you want to be? Not just in the world of Mary Kay, but to your friends, to your family, and the circles. And what do you want to be known for? Because so much of that, when people talk about what's my purpose in life and what am I here for? Your purpose is who you be wherever you go and whatever you're doing. So a purpose isn't necessarily a job, right? I mean, look at Jennifer. She has 5 jobs. A lot of you do. A lot of you have several different areas of life that you thrive in and that you're interested in, that you're passionate about. So, just kind of ask yourself those questions, who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for? And that within Mary Kay and also outside of Mary Kay. One of the things that's talked about a lot in Mary Kay is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. And self-confidence is in the doing. It's knowing that you have the ability to accomplish things and to do things. And most of you, the thing is that you know what to do, but you may just need to be in more activity and get into the doing. So it's not just about knowing, it's about knowing and then also taking that inspired action and taking steps toward it. So every success in this business boils down to either attitude, skill, or activity in Mary Kay. If something's not going right, or, there's one more that we kind of added on, which could be maybe working with the wrong people, working with a group of people that really, as Rena Charbot said, they don't have any money, their friends don't have any money, they don't have, they have that mindset. So sometimes it has to do with the group that you're working with, and that can be a reward of the heart in itself though. So we're going to be covering most of the basic skills of the business throughout this Pacesetter series. as far as the IPAs and the activity, Heidi talked about that last night. Tonight, we're going to focus on your attitude and your mindset. Mary Kay always said you can do everything wrong and be successful if you have a great attitude. And you can do everything right. And if you don't have a great attitude, you won't be successful. She always talked about it's 90% attitude, more so than skill. And she would always use the example of a brand new consultant comes in. She's so excited. She doesn't even really know. She's caught the dream and she's caught the vision of whoever brought her in, whatever they put out to her, or by reading Mary Kay's story. They don't even know the skills. And they're just excited and they're talking to people and their charisma is drawing people to them. So, and I remember that when I was new, I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember being up there, getting my ribbons and stuff for my weeks. And I'm like, I just did a little party and a facial. I didn't even know what I was doing. So sometimes it's about bringing that excitement and it's the attitude that you put forth. And we're going to break this down a little bit tonight. Right now, life is messy for a lot of people. There's a lot of unknown. And one of the things that we can do is we can bring some normalcy just by being consistent in your Mary Kay business. It teaches us so much. It teaches us how to structure our day, how to goal set, how to have vision, how to break things down. Just being in this environment, we have so much support and so many tools. I want to start by going through the emotional wheel, and I can't pull it up here for you, but can you guys see this?
No.
Oh, you're not able
All
to.
we could see was the word feelings
No.
wheel.
Oh, okay. Let me
You
pull
didn't
it
put
up.
the whole
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, just hold it up a
A
little
little bit
higher.
down, no.
Down, down.
There you
Yes.
go.
Oh,
stop.
it's okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go through it anyway. I just wanted you to see it because it's been around in Mary Kay since I joined. And so we're gonna actually kind of go through the different stages that a new consultant typically goes through. And again, it's not usually just Mary Kay that puts you through the emotional wheel. It's lifing on all of us. But we start out, brand new consultant. Okay, I'm gonna put my glasses on because it's so small. Brand new consultant is stage 1 on the feeling wheel or the emotional cycle. And maybe attending success meetings. Right now we're doing them on Zoom. Maybe, seeing the possibility, hearing the marketing, hearing what's possible in Mary Kay. And that is sending positive feelings to the brain that I can do it too. If she can do it, I can do it. And hearing from other people's stories, seeing the weeks that people are having and what we're accomplishing. That's why Mary Kay always said we praise people to success. That gives other people something to step into. So then maybe somewhere along the line, they move into the second step, which is a little bit of frustration. Maybe people have canceled their appointments, they haven't followed through, or they're not there when you go to give them a facial. We call that being porched. We've had it happen. Obstacles start to set in life. Maybe husband's not as supportive as you want. The dog went to the bathroom on the floor. I mean, things happen. And maybe your friends that you really thought would support you are not the ones that are booking and supporting you. I'm just giving you examples, but we all kind of go through these stages. Then you start getting into a little bit of, you may be shock or you get a little paralyzed of, I can't believe it. I thought this was going to be a lot easier. Maybe this is why a lot of people aren't doing Mary Kay, or I know so-and-so that didn't do Mary Kay, and this is probably why. And then it moves to like denial, or I call it disillusion. People start to withdraw and start procrastinating, avoid success meetings, avoid phone calls from their director, cook a lot, sleep a lot, do a lot of other things, to avoid, putting the activity into the business. So there's no chance of rejection, right? Then move into fear. I can't do this. Maybe this isn't for me. I'm not a salesperson. Sales isn't for me, and really start talking themselves out of it. And then anger. Well, why didn't they tell me that I was going to have to, go on there and learn stuff on the computer, or, really blaming, well, Mary Kay changed the product line again on me, or they're raising the prices, or whatever, right? So the anger might set in. And then the second part of that is then they begin to get angry with themselves, and they start to admit and recognize their own feelings, and also that they're responsible with what they do or don't do in their business. And that's the bottom line, is like, nobody can do the business for you, and you can't do the business for anybody else. Trust me, I've tried. I remember one time when Bill Kentrail said, you can't run 30 businesses, or 10 businesses. When I had a lot of offspring directors, I go, well, I kind of feel like I am. When I was a new director, I was doing a lot for them that they could do for themselves. And so sometimes you get to a point where you start to recognize, okay, I'm responsible. What do I need to fix? Is it my attitude? Is it my skill set? Is it the amount of activity I'm actually putting it in? And then the final stage is where you start to go back to stage one and you start to be realistic and tell yourself, it's not like me to not reach my goals. And I really do want this. I really would love to work with the team. I really would love to, earn a Mary Kay car. And, maybe I'll jump back on those meetings. Maybe I'll just reach out to so-and-so that's been wanting a facial or whatever. And then go back to that beginning stage of the emotional cycle. And here's the thing. I've been in Mary Kay a long time and have gone through this a lot of different times. And one of the things that I've always been taught at our leadership classes is the difference between a new consultant and a sales director or a seasoned consultant is how long it takes you to get back around to that first stage on the emotional wheel. Is because we all go through these things. And, there's never, ever been a time when I've ever considered quitting Mary Kay, ever, ever, ever. Like no, I'm a lifer. This is a commitment. It's in alignment with my values. But there've been times when I've definitely, with other callings and passions, put it way on the back burner. So it's allowed, we get to do whatever we want to with it. And as sales directors, all we can do is guide and lead and support you where you are. And even your recruiter, but it's really up to you, as you guys know, to do what you need to do, to learn what you need to learn, to motivate yourself on a daily basis and ask for help if needed, because that's really what we're there for, is just to help you through those slippery spots. So if you find yourself in one of those spaces of being new and excited or being frustrated or kind of in that shock paralysis, analysis paralysis, we call it, or denial or disillusionment, I didn't really want it anyway, or fear or anger, just if you want to, feel free to put that in the chat because I'm going to continue on and hopefully we'll have a few minutes to chat afterwards. But just kind of find where am I right now? And I know that, like I said, the longer you're in, the quicker that you get around that emotional wheel. You might go, they're getting rid of my favorite product. And it's like, okay, oh, something better's coming. I see. The company always takes care of us, right? Or, oh, they're increasing the prices. And it's like, okay, but Mary Kay had made a promise to us a few years back. They were going to keep doing it incrementally to keep up with the market rather than doing a big hike like they did several years ago, which was hard for a lot of people to swallow. So kind of moving on, just ask yourself the question, am I ready to recommit working for my business? Because some people say, Mary Kay works if you do. The business doesn't work for you. You work for the business, and anything you could ever create or build that's going to give you passive income over time, you put the time in on the front end. And sometimes it's like having a new baby. You're putting a lot more time into caring for and nurturing and keeping that baby alive and fed and watered in the beginning, right? Because you've got a gestational period of learning everything, learning how to work with people, which is a huge, really positive commodity that you can do anything with. But I think I've shared this a couple times on here, that I was at this Hay House Summit a year ago in May. And there was one thing said about if you lose passion, you'll end up burning it down. And you don't want to do that, because this is something that can support you in the long run, even if you're not putting a lot of time into it. It's a residual business when you have a customer base and team members. And you can decide right here and right now that you're going to recommit. Because I can't tell you how many times I've done that over the past 35 years. I've never quit, but I've been at different levels of activity. So it's all allowed. It's all okay. It's all there to teach you and to help you expand and learn. So now that you have clarified what your goal is by the end of this class, which the end of March was one of the things that Heidi asked you to do, and then also by the end of June, it's time to ask yourself, why do I want this? What is this going to add to my life, to my family, to my lifestyle? And here's the thing, there's no right or wrong here. Why do I want it? Is it because I really, really need a big win in my life? Is it because I need something to work for? Something that's going to get me excited to put steps forward in my Mary Kay business? And, for me, it's every event, leadership conference, seminar, when I was a consultant, it was like from quarterly award to quarterly award or week to week or being the monthly queen, but now they always say, work for another goal for by the time the next company event comes along to move up or to take another step. So, when you have to kind of know what it is that you want and why do you want it. We talk about this a lot because what's it going to add to your life? What is it going to do that's going to actually motivate you over the next, several weeks and or the next few months by the end of June? What's it going to add to you, to your family, to your lifestyle? And when you know what that is what's going to keep your goals and your vision in the forefront of your mind as you're taking the action steps toward the goals, so that you can picture it in your mind. That's why I'm a huge believer in vision boards and having pictures of the achievement of the goal, what it's going to bring to you, having that picture in front of you, because your subconscious works in pictures. And that's what will actually draw to you, but also motivate you to take the steps and attract to you the people and the resources it's going to take to get it. And then affirm the end result as well as taking the action steps. That's going to help you consistently take a step forward and keep in action. And, Gloria Mayfield Banks, she always talked about trashing your house, like have your goals and pictures in your bathroom, on your refrigerator, everywhere where you visit often, not just in your office tucked away, everywhere where you see having pictures of you living the life that you would like. So just trash your house with your goals so that if somebody came in, you can make it real classy and put it in a picture frame if you want, or little positive motivational sayings, but get yourself in the place where you feel the emotion as if you've completed what it is that you're after. Feel yourself at whatever size that you're looking for with that pink director's jacket, if that's what you want, or the red jacket, or in front of a lot of people sharing and talking as a director, as a leader, whatever it is, something that's going to give you the emotion of what it is that you want. And maybe it's just a certain amount of customers. Maybe it's a certain amount of income each month. So you're the only one that knows what that is, but figure it out. What is your why that gets you excited? Maybe it's getting out of another job. Maybe it's extra income. Okay. So I want you to clear the dialogue that's going on in your mind about anything that is not in the current moment. And these are just some of the places that you can go in your mind before reaching out or making calls. And I'm just going to tell you, this is just from asking others, like, what are some of the things that you're thinking as I do coaching calls right before you pick up that phone, or you text somebody, or, you reach out on Facebook or message or whatever with people that you want to book with. Because now it's not just phone calls. Sorry, I've got a tickle here. Some of the things that I've heard is, well, she's probably going to say no or just put me off, because she's so busy, or she's going to think I'm pushy, or I don't want to think that I'm calling her just because, fill in the blank, or I tried that before, it didn't work out. She's probably avoiding me. I've called and texted. She's not returning my calls or texts. She's too busy. She's probably not interested. Everyone says these multi-level companies don't work. I didn't really want this or need this anyway. It's okay if I don't reach this goal. I'll do it when, we get into the when, then. I'm not smart enough, skinny enough, blonde enough, organized enough, pretty enough, on and on and on. It's easier for her because ... fill in the blank. Okay. Anybody ever, you don't have to raise your hand, thought any of those things before you go to reach out to follow up with somebody on the product or about the opportunity? I know I have. We all got to be honest here. So nobody has an advantage over anybody else in this business. We always say it's mathematical, not magical. It is a numbers game, just like any other business in sales. Okay. Every person that you see on In Touch or on the scoreboard or in Applause magazine or teaching at conferences has had to do the following things. They've had to set goals, get organized, get disciplined, learn about our product line, make phone calls, texts, emails, or social media, however you choose to do that. Do the follow-up with the people that you've been sharing with on the product, which is fun. Learn and share the marketing plan, or work with her team if she chooses to. So, understand this opportunity changes for no one. The business works if you do, but again, nobody else can do it for anybody else. It's just up to you. Doesn't mean you're doing it alone. We say you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. You have the sisterhood and you have the support of your recruiter and or director. And so Bill Cantrell always said, we all have, the opportunity doesn't change for anybody. We all have the same marketing plan. We all have the same product line. We have the same company, all the things. So you can it's purely a choice with what do you want to do with it. And I do believe you create your own reality. We're going to talk about that. And you create your own economy, meaning your financial situation. And I've played with this for a lot of my life and learned a lot about that. So you can be paid boatloads of money when you master the presentation on the product. And again, there's lots of different ways to do it. There's no one right way, but there's lots of training and videos out there about how different people are doing it. The cool thing is it's flexible. You get to be yourself. You don't have to be this cookie cutter version of somebody else, but yet there are tools like flip chart. And on the new Mary Kay training, there's a really wonderful training and one of the first few modules where it's a skincare class and they kind of jump from in-person to virtual to they call open house style, which is kind of the Waverly way where they pass a product around. So they're kind of showing like you're kind of doing the same thing, but this is the format and they show it from all the perspectives. So once you learn the product presentation or your version of it and a great marketing plan and how to share it, even if you didn't finish high school, you can be a multimillionaire in Mary Kay because there are many who have. So, we're going to be breaking down, like I said, the different skills in the business as far as like hostess coaching and, working through, booking ways, ideas for booking and lots of different, team building and all of that, all the skills. We're going to break that down throughout the weeks of the Pacesetters class. But I really want you to understand it's not necessarily about working harder. It's about, Mary Kay said, working smarter. And for her, Mary Kay always talked about being in, taking God as your partner and being in a place where you are drawing people to you, attracting, not attacking people. So, but the other aspect of that is working from attraction and not just focusing on efforting, which comes from the belief that you have to work really, really hard and go through the pain in order to be successful. That is the old way, right? We're in a new timeline where it's all about taking inspired action, but coming from the energy and the consciousness of what you want to attract or have in your life. When you are, and Mary Kay taught us this in her own way, but people are really starting to understand it doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter what your background is. Anybody and everybody can be successful in a sporting career, an acting career, a business like this. It's all about your belief in yourself and lining up with the energy of what you want. Okay. You can work harder, but if you're not doing it from a positive mindset, you're still not going to get the results that you want. So it's about being the energy of what it is that you're wanting and then taking action, inspired action from that space. Then you get to have all of the things rather than do the work, do the work, do the work. Then you get to have the stuff and then you're going to feel successful. So it's the opposite of do, have, and be. It's be the energy of it, take action from that space and draw it to you. And the thing is oftentimes the things that come to you, for me, it wasn't really necessarily the money or the recognition or the prizes initially, but all of those things came when I was in my gift and in my passion of empowering women. That was just something that just really turned me on. It always has. And when I felt like at the end of a facial, I had, her life story, she trusted me. I had this new friend, not just a customer. It grew my skills in getting over myself, being shy and really focusing on other people. So, again, I want to clarify that one more time. Most people think if I do the thing, then I'm going to have all the success and the, the designer clothes, handbags, the recognition, notoriety, and then I'm going to be happy. But instead, it's really about being in a place of happiness and fulfillment and joy as if you already have what it is that you want. And then taking an action from that place of inspiration, not from the lack that I'm not going to feel successful. I'm not going to feel smart. I'm not going to feel empowered until I get those things done. And then I'll be seen that way. It's all about you. And I've been doing positive affirmations for 35 years. I was a brand new consultant at a meeting with Pam Mann. I'll never forget this lady named Carol came and she was promoting a book from Shad Helmstetter called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And that was the first time I'd ever heard the concept of working with positive affirmations. And I think Amber even addressed it today. It was really interesting. She had addressed it today on the hotline about, positive affirmations when people say, well, aren't you then just brainwashing yourself? And I mean, when you think about how much programming we're already receiving that is not positive. And also, you know, the mind is like a bad neighborhood at night. Don't go in there alone, because your own mind will take you down a negative spiral. Because our mind is pretty much, the human condition is we're in the amygdala, and our amygdala has been hijacked. We continue to operate from the reptilian brain. That's the actual scientific term for it, which is the fight or flight or freeze response of always being on guard and fearful, you know, fear-based, fear behind everything. Survival, lack, scarcity, rather than I have everything that I could possibly want. It's available to me if I just get into alignment with it. So it's much more about your ability to receive and your deserve level. Another really powerful thing, Pat Pearson was one of the gals that, she was kind of the earlier Bill Cantrell, the earlier David Cooper, where she would go around and talk about deserve level, of feeling like permission to succeed beyond your parents. And it's really a thing where a lot of people didn't want to make their parents feel bad by being more successful in my generation, or feel like they were unworthy or didn't deserve it because they didn't do it the way their parents did it. Well, I'll tell you what, this next generation that's coming up right now, they've taught us a lot about that. They have entitlement. They come in with entitlement, maybe a little too much sometimes from my perspective, but they, you know, they want flexibility. They want to be able to bring their dog to work and take naps and all the things, and they'll do a really good job and they'll work really, really hard for you. But they've looked at the way that we've done it and they want work-life balance. And so I think I'm generalizing a little bit, but I think it's really interesting how things have shifted and how I've watched the generations before us, and then in my generation, and now this next couple generations, where things have shifted a lot. And, you know, people are coming in with no formal education and becoming, you know, multimillionaires through different aspects of social media and this and that and the other. But it can happen in Mary Kay too. As you guys know, our number one director last year is 22 years old, Waverly. And she was 7 months pregnant with her second child and did $1.3 million or something for her second time in the $1 Million Unit Club. And she was kind of embarrassed to share her Waverly way of doing things open house style, because it wasn't the way that old school Mary Kay was taught. Well, the company's embraced it and everything has shifted, and we get to really be our authentic self and do this our own way. As long as we're professionally and representing the company well, with other people, we get to present and connect to people in a way that feels comfortable and authentic to us, which I love that, because there were things that I did a little bit different too. And I felt like I was really kind of judged and shamed for not doing it the specific Mary Kay way in the beginning, just by certain people who might have been a little bit militaristic about it. But in Mary Kay now today, the sky is the limit. There are so many different ways and opportunities to reach out to people. So one of the things that I was going to do, I'm not going to do one of the things that I was going to do. I've done it with a lot of you before, and we did it at the retreat, which is the mock-up exercise. And if you've done energy work with me, you probably have done it, but I have the format for anyone who's never done it before. I will send you the outline for it, but it really is getting specific about something that you really want to manifest, including a timeline, and releasing resistance from yourself or outside of you. And I call it kind of leveraging the universe, and then really working with your deserve level on it. I learned it several years back. And I use it for a lot of different things, not just Mary Kay. So I was going to kind of walk you through that, but I want to have some time for us to really kind of talk about what we feel like holds us back. But I'm going to tell you your homework first. Okay, these are just some things to work on this week. Number one, identify negative scripts that you tell yourself in your head. So if it is, you know, like I'm always late, or nobody wants to book with me, or I don't want to put negative stuff out there, but whatever it is in your head that you feel like is a negative script that is keeping you from taking the action steps. I'm assuming because you guys are all on here that you're wanting more for your life and out of your business. So, and maybe it's a general one, maybe it's not specifically just for Mary Kay, but what are like 3 to 5 main negative scripts that you tell yourself about yourself? It could be something somebody told you a long time ago and you bought it and you repeat it to yourself. So that's the first thing, is to pick a few, maybe 3 to 5, and then turn that around into a positive affirmation. I'll give you just a really quick example. Most of you, if you've been in Mary Kay for a minute, we've done this together, but if you say something to the effect of, everybody's too busy, nobody answers their phone. Okay, well, is that really something you want to create? Because when you are using those negative scripts, you're actually giving energy to that which you don't want. And Bill Cantrell, one of my mentors, he used to always say, don't give 1 second of energy to anything you don't want to get bigger. And put your energy really into the things you want to create. So a different way that you might want to put that out there is, people make time for the things they're excited about. And I am attracting every single day people who are super excited about getting makeovers and trying our powerhouse skincare. I'm just talking off the cuff, okay? So something like that might be a way to counteract that, is that not everybody's too busy and not everybody avoids phone calls. And there are people who out there looking for what we have. So putting yourself in alignment to be able to receive those people and attract them to you. So find 3 or 4 themes in your life where you tell yourself negative things. Maybe you beat up on yourself for your health or your body or, your financial management or whatever. Identify what the negative script is and turn that around into a positive affirmation. And, one of the things that I would love for you to do is to do a new power statement. And a power statement in Mary Kay is not a whole page of affirmations, but maybe 1 or 2 lines kind of encapsulating what you're working for by June 30th. So a new power statement, if you need help, talk to your recruiter or your director, and we'll help you get one down. But let's do a new power statement and send it to your director, or you can share it with her when you do your check-in call. And then another part of that, once you get those affirmations, what I've done with my newest ones that I just recorded, I recorded the whole thing. I think the whole thing is like 3 minutes long and I talk pretty fast. So there's a lot in there and it's about every area of my life. My affirmations have to do with my health and weight. They have to do with my relationships with my husband and kids. They have to do with my career success, my friends, my spiritual growth and life, and my expansion, like reading every day for 20 minutes before I go to bed. Like I have a bunch of different things in there for all areas of life. And it's about 3 minutes long. And so I just did it 3 times over and over again on my recorder on my phone, so that by the time I get done with it, it's maybe 10 minutes. And I do it every day when I work out. So I'm starting off my day in a really positive mindset. It really energizes. When I was reading that book, they talked about if you you need to say it to yourself at least 3 times a day for at least 21 days. I'm going to say 30 days. That's how many times it takes to retrace a new groove in your brain. It's part of the reticular activating system where we're creating new neural paths all the time in our brain. We do it all the time. And so, but what happens is if we have a mindset about something or a negative script, then we start attracting other ones that match that script over and over again. And so then they start stacking up on you. And that's how a person can really become negative if they're around negative people. So 3 times a day, say it to yourself. And what we used to do is if you miss a day, you have to start over. So I would track it. Like I would do a little thing on your calendar and give yourself a gold star for doing your affirmations and listening to the hotline, and getting a booking a day was what Tammy Craig used to say. And then listening to some kind of Mary Kay training. And then the next thing, just make the decision. This can happen right here, right now, that whatever goal that's been planted in your heart, you're going to do your part and follow through until the end. If it's not your goal, don't have it. Don't have a goal just because you think you should, or your director wants you to, or your husband wants you to, or the company says they're looking for nationals. If you're not committed to the activity, then change the goal. Otherwise you set yourself up over and over again for failure. So just get real with yourself. I'm saying that I want this. Am I really committed to it? Maybe I'm going to backtrack, or I'm going to change my time frame a little bit. And again, I've used this a lot lately. You control the effort, let God control the results. You're on screen, honey. Yeah, you control the effort, let God control the results. So remember to work with the law of averages. Go into Mary Kay in touch. This is kind of in preparation for next week, and just start kind of studying overcoming some of the booking objections, because that's what we're getting into for training next week. And this is just another part, is when you're holding appointments or when you're getting ready to book and connect with women, have positive expectancy. Positive expectancy is different than having attachment. Positive expectancy is you're hopeful for a certain outcome. You're after a certain outcome and you're putting your intention into that without being attached to it. So Anne used to say to me all the time, you control the effort, let God control the results. And just see the result that you would like to have happen in your mind before you make that contact. And just have fun playing with all of this and making your dreams a reality, because this stuff works. I've lived it. I've done it. I've walked the talk. I continue to walk the talk. And yeah, it is so exciting to, you know, anytime we ever want in Mary Kay, we always have a fresh start or a do-over. You know, we can start over every single day. We can make a decision that I'm going to move forward on this or that in our business. So I'm going to put it back on gallery. I think Dennis walked through in his underwear, but he didn't know that we were on screen because I was reading my notes. So I'll protect you guys for the next time. Anyway, you guys can unmute now because I'm going to look and see what your chats are saying. And I would like a little bit of feedback and see. Oh, Kelly's back to a 1. I like providing a beautiful experience. I love that, Deb. Kenzie getting more leads. Okay.
I just want to say real quick that he hesitated and then just went for it. And I love the confidence that he bestowed as he walked by. It was great.
Well, I think he thought that because I had my words in the background that I was reading. This is how I make my videos, like my marketing video and stuff. So he didn't see you guys on the screen. Sorry. He's got boxers on. It's no big deal. I think it's
I
fun.
thought he was in shorts, so
It looks like shorts.
yeah.
I like to mess with him though. It's kind of fun. Okay, so, all right. So I wanted to kind of open it up just to just check in with everybody. The stuff that I shared tonight, to me, this is more important than any skill in the business. When anybody can learn the skills. Anybody can learn how to do a great presentation, learn about the product. It doesn't matter if you've attended 1 ounce of school or even completed high school, because we have national sales directors making millions that have never even completed high school. There's a few stories like that. And then there are people who have law degrees and Harvard degrees and medical degrees and all of that kind of stuff too. So what I'm saying is anybody can do this if they choose to, but so much of if you're going to do it, go into it with a positive mindset. Guess what? Mary Kay used to always say, what does she have that I can't get fixed? Right? Like when we compare ourselves to other people, we typically compare our weaknesses to other people's strengths. And I'll protect you next time when he walks by. But we compare our weaknesses to other people's strengths and we always come up short. And we're in the Instagram days of comparison and judgment and filters and all of that kind of stuff. You know, you're seeing people's best lives on Instagram, which isn't necessarily the reality. So it's gotten more and more strong in that way. So instead of doing that, look at the other people and use that as an inspiration. Use it as an inspiration for you to be able to shine. If they can do it, I can do it. That was kind of what I began to tell myself. I just started telling myself that, well, if they were able to learn this, I'm teachable, I'm trainable, I'm intelligent, and I have gone to school and college, I can learn what I need to learn. And I dug in and I made the commitment to learn the things that I needed to learn. And you guys, it's so much easier now. I used to call Anne all the time and I would ask her questions because I just wanted to know now because I was kind of a dominant personality. And she would make me go look it up in the consultant guide. We had this big thing, we called it the Bible. It was like this thick, this big consultant guide. I mean, it was huge. And so I had to go look it up and find stuff. So then I would always remember it. Nowadays, we can just jump on our phone, jump on the website. We can find anything that we want in an instant. And you guys, the modules for the new consultant training, it's phenomenal. I cannot stress how impressed I am with it. So I went through, I think the first 9 out of the 13 modules. I did everything except the ones with the social media stuff at the end in 2.5 hours in one night. So if you, even if you're a seasoned consultant, it's good for you to see it. Because then if you're team building, you can tell people, you know, instead of answering every question, which we have a tendency to do sometimes, go do your new consultant training. And we've been streamlining our onboarding process quite a bit to give people step by step. So truly, I was talking with Heidi about this today. it's really not on you if they decide, I mean, if other people don't decide to put the effort into learning what they need to. I want to read something, so I'm looking it up right now for you guys. It's not on you. It's not on you. Everybody gets to decide and choose what they're going to do in the business. And the training is all there. I don't care if you have a terrible director or recruiter, like some people might think that they have, and you guys don't. You guys have great support and training here, and we're going to be doing even more. It's really up to you to learn what you need to learn, but really decide, what do I want? What do I want in my life? And go after it. Time is flying, right? Time is not slowing down for anybody. And this just made me think of this. April and I both love this. This was from Nelson Mandela, got credit for it, but it's actually from Marianne Williamson from a book in A Course in Miracles. And it's our deepest fear. And our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are we not to be? You are a child of God, and playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I just kind of wanted to read that a little bit in closing of, you know, the people that have gone before us in Mary Kay, like Mary Kay Ash herself, and many of the top directors and nationals that have come before us, they're just there to show us the way. And it's up to us, you know, whether or not, maybe you don't want that role of being a big spokesperson or an ambassador for Mary Kay at that top level, but you can be the most positive, inspirational person to the people around you, in your family, in your friend group, in your circle, or in your team or within our unit. So I'm super excited to start gathering together, you know, and having us share each other's energy and bring guests into fun Mary Kay bingo nights and things like that to expose them to not just our product, but to our world and the sisterhood that we have in Mary Kay. A lot of people need that right now. So, okay, I'm talking too much. So I'm going to just kind of open it up for a few minutes. If anybody else has anything to share, anything they want to express. Okay, April put hers on there. I knew she had an event. All right, you guys, thanks for putting your stuff back on here. So even if you've done affirmations, if it's been a while and your goals have changed, just create a new power statement for what you're working on right now. Short, concise. I remember one time when I was teaching this, Julie Rambo, she was one of my adopted offspring directors, and she goes, she just got up and she goes, "It is done. It is done. It is done." That was her power statement because she was finishing up directors and by directorship. And her director didn't live here. So by golly, she got it done. She made it happen against a lot of adversity in her personal life, which we found out later. Sometimes that drives you. So figure out, like, what am I telling myself that's working against me? And maybe it's your story, but you're giving energy and you're beating the drum to that story over and over again. And you're reliving that story and you're putting yourself in a pattern of that story of how you hate this or how everybody does this, or, you know, the story that you've lived, because life is not fair. We've all had, you know, our share of different things go on in our lives, and it's not necessarily equal or fair. Okay, you're safe now. They just thought you had shorts on, so. But life isn't fair. And some have signed up. I say some people sign up for, you know, the Earth School, some sign up for the master's program, and some sign up for the PhD. Some have it harder than others in different ways. And that is a fact, right? So Deb says, I want to reclaim her dominant. That would be your power. And having power, by the way, and being empowered is owning your own power. It's not having power over anybody else. I think that's the old patriarchal paradigm. It's about owning our power, and our power, you guys, is in the heart. And Mary Kay knew that. She was brilliant. She was a visionary, and she was way ahead of her time. She knew that leading from the heart, and that when they would tell her, oh, Mary Kay, you're just thinking like a woman. She was a highly successful woman, and she built some other companies, by leading from the heart, but she was dismissed over and over again because she was in the wrong body in the 60s, right? I've never watched that Mad Men show, but I imagine it was a little bit like that Mad Men show, right? From what I hear. But, you know, we're in a different time today. There's still inequality in terms of what women make compared to men, but not in Mary Kay. And I don't know if we're supposed to say this, but at one point we had more millionairesses in this company than any other company in the entire world. I would imagine that's probably true still today. It's not just a few that make it at the top, but find your, you know, where do I see myself in it? What do I want? What am I telling myself that's not allowing myself to get there? And, you know, get really quick, give yourself a little pity party. You know, somebody said a pity party is the most expensive party you will ever have. So get over it within about 2 minutes. You know, you might have pity on yourself and you might feel sorry for yourself, but get over it real fast because it's keeping you stuck in that energy if you're continuing to beat the drum on what's not working in your life. Fix it or forget it was another thing that Mary Kay said a lot. So, all right, anybody else? Trying to keep us on time here. And I am going to be gone. Some of you know that I'm leaving on Friday for Hawaii. My husband and I are going to be going to celebrate our 20-year anniversary in Kona. So I won't be available to do my calls this week, but we'll be back on Sunday night. So I'm hoping Monday and Tuesday of next week, I can connect with those of you that are really wanting to stay on track for graduating and just check in on all this stuff. And I'll be here for the next couple of days to help anybody in my unit too with affirmations and things like that if you need help with that, okay? Even on Voxer, okay, if I'm in appointments or whatever. All right, you guys, and have fun. Have fun. You know, this is not hard. This work is not hard. I do other things that are not easy. Mary Kay's fun. It's my fun. It's my reprieve. It's my excitement. I got together with one of my neighbors today and I said, oh my gosh, you need to try this product and this product. And we were switching out something and she bought some other things. And every time I see her, she buys more things. It's just been really, really, it's fun. This business is fun. And you just kind of incorporate it into your life, into everything you're doing. You know, if you're like all these showers and wedding things that I'm doing and, you know, neighbors and, my son's music stuff. I meet some of his friends that are girls and like wherever you go, there you are, you have an opportunity to number one, represent your product and be the energy that you want to attract, whether it's for Mary Kay or just to brighten someone's day. So just go get those positive juju and positive molecules over other people and make them feel special and have fun doing this. All right. So, oh, and then get on there really quick and, just kind of look at like, what are the main common booking objections? There's just a few, like once you master those, you're golden. All right. Anything else? Anybody? All right. Have a wonderful, thank you for the congrats, Kiki. Have a wonderful, fantastic week, everybody. Work on you. 6 inches between your
Bye.
head, okay? Or
Have
between
an
your,
amazing trip.
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Safe trip. Have fun.
You know, Kelly, I never asked you how you got that $1,000.
I got it from I met somebody down there that had lost their Mary Kay person and they did a big order. And so I am shipping it all to them today, actually.
That is fantastic.
Your
On
makeup
vacation,
looks
I know you've got
so
bookings.
good, Kelly.
What was that?
Your makeup looks so good.
Oh, thank you.
Did
I
it
feel like
help?
I'm just a booby girl
Love.
today.
I loved your pictures. You need to crop one of them where you're smiling and send that in to be your photo.
Okay.
If you want. All right, you
Once.
guys. Have an awesome week, everybody.
Thank
Love you
Bye,
all.
everyone. Love
Bye-bye.
you.